Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we are looking at Ms. Marvel from 1977, the first incarnation of the character. One of my favorite characters ever, a lot of people's favorite characters, even though she's been sort of, I don't know, just like used and abused and thrown about and just mishandled over the years. See what I did there? Anyway, cannot wait to show you these classic first two issues of her series. Total classics. Look at these covers. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. I remember picking these up early in my comic book collecting career. First visits to the comic book store back issue bins and finding these gems. I guess I've always been partial to blonde superheroines. Whatever. It's like you think about little kids today, like being so excited by inclusiveness in cartoons, and I totally relate. I mean, it's always exciting to sort of see yourself represented on, the screen. And before long, I mean, we just won't have any gorgeous blondes anymore to look up to. So we have to look back at the old ones like this. So Ms. Marvel, imagine that. I feel like 1977, Ms. MS. So this is probably like, it's funny because people talk about Marvel being woke and all that stuff. And I feel like this seems like sort of feminist forward in a way, just using the Ms. title, giving a female, her own title. And she's freaking Ms. Marvel. I mean, that's, arguably the most important mantle in the Marvel Universe. I mean, aside from Captain Marvel, I guess, or Mr. Marvel, if you want to do, the caste system, sexism, blah, 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 which would have been going on in 1977. And I'm sure we'll see it in here, but it's funny how sexist things are totally. And, you just realize what a shift in culture there has been. And even when they're trying to not be sexist, I mean, come on. I mean, it's like, whatever. I guess it's like female empowerment. Like, she can wear whatever she wants to wear, but who is this costume for? I mean, her costume is ripped open to the navel. Captain Marvel's wasn't. I wouldn't have minded if it was. I mean, come on. That's kind of the appeal of superheroes, is they're basically running around naked with latex over their bodies. Or not latex, but spandex. Oh my god, this makes me so excited. I love that this was totally, drawn by an artist. It very well looks like it could be a comic book artist. And the finishing almost looks like it could be inked by Terry Austin, but I could be reading too much into that. I would love to know who the artist was there. It was probably, most likely, just, an artist at Kenner or, what do you call it? From the ad agency. But the art is so epic and so cool. I love that freaking Maskatron. I love the circuitry, around it. That would be such a great t-shirt. As with that $6 Million Man 13-inch action figure. That should be on the t-shirt, too. Why not? I loved Maskatron. My brother had Maskatron. I had the Fembot, naturally. But his head, you could press a button and his head would pop off. I mean, that's how, exciting things were in the 80s. Or late 70s, I should say. Conceived, written, and edited by Jerry Conway. A huge name. I don't have much, connection to Jerry Conway. Like I said, I picked this up as back issues and probably wasn't, completely blown away by it. Even though, looking at it, so good. Love this John Buscema art. I mean, imagine that. John Buscema drawing, the first issues of Ms. Marvel. And I have to say, I do like this costume, but, she would go on to get it redesigned by that classic, black one with a lightning bolt, the Dave Cockrum design that is so good. But this art is beautiful. My introduction to John Buscema is how to draw comics the Marvel way, as I very much wanted to work for Marvel Comics growing up as I got into all the art. And even though I found people John Byrne and George Perez and Art Adams and stuff way more exciting, I looked at how to draw comics the Marvel way as such gospel and sort of like the Bible of what you should strive for, sort of. And that's why I always assert in my videos, like how people like Bill Sienkiewicz or somebody with a really different style, at least the good ones have the fundamentals of drawing at their disposal, like proper anatomy. Even if they exaggerate it, they could probably still draw like real anatomy, perspective, backgrounds, things like that. I mean, it is so funny because looking back at this, you know, definitely the storytelling, you can see like there was such a shift. It definitely started with the better printing of comic books. When they realized that they could print to the edge of the paper, they started expanding the art to the edge of the paper and trying to explode outside of the panels, and Image Comics really popularized that and took advantage of that. But back in the day, you know, the printing would only go so far and it wouldn't pick up the ink on the end of the paper, so they were confined into the gutter. What is the technical term for technical? But anyway, the slang, I don't know, the industry term for the white space separating the panels, but you know, they would always stay confined with that. So it was always very much like, you know, storyboarding in a lot of ways, but very dynamic. I mean, John Buscema is spreading a lot of great camera angles, and it's funny because I always think back to that How to Draw Comics Marvel way and a lot of the principles and try to, like, things that he tried to instill. So it's like, they definitely got the right man to draw it. Written by Stan Lee, of course. Bring on the bad guys. I don't know if my brother ever got that, but it was always, like, one of our, like, I don't know, what's that word? That thing that you're looking for. Holy Grails. I don't think it ever happened. I can imagine like a mint version of that today would be like worth so much. Love the frickin'... It's funny because Joe Sinnott is definitely... I feel like I love his inks so much on Jack Kirby. I think they are such a great pair. I think so classic. Love their Fantastic Four. Looks so great. I feel like Joe Sinnott definitely is a little heavy-handed and brings his finish and style to the forefront. I love this old... hilarious. I do have to comment on this in a second. But a little overpowering sometimes. Like, I like John Byrne has worked with Joe Sinnott a lot to sort of capture like a classic FF look, and I think it is effective, but I do kind of hate it on Byrne because I think it is a little too overpowering. However, I really like that here. I think that John Buscema is such a classic sort of Marvel artist that it really works well. I do love the... Oops. As I kick my what is this thing? Tripod over the arrows. Like, you're not supposed to do this. Like, have to use arrows to... Your eye should be naturally guided across the page. I think that's a little insulting. I feel like people... No, actually that's not. Because I feel like your eye would be a little more drawn to go like this way. You're supposed to create a Z formation, and that's a faux pas, Mr. John Buscema, but you did give us this gorgeous shot of Carol Danvers, so we'll forgive you for that. Slim Jim, one of my weaknesses in life. They've always been a part of my life, Slim Jims. Delicious. This is such a cool looking Scorpio. Oh my god, I love the classic Spider-Man villains, and that he looks so on point there for like my version of the Spider-Man villains. Aging myself terribly, I don't care. Oh my god, the Marvel Mego action figures, so cool. $3.79, can you imagine? I want them all. Marvel home play set. I mean, there was a lot of writing on these pages. And on these pages. That's pretty verbose, don't you think? Comics were like 17 pages long. And it always took forever to read. Misprints. I mean, come on. The shit writes itself. I mean, can you imagine? That's so cool. Like, the subscription ads were always so freaking cool for Marvel. I mean, could you imagine cutting this out, though, and mailing back your coupon? Now, whenever I got a subscription, I was smart enough to know that I would photocopy the page, and then I would cut it out and mail away for my subscription. because I wasn't going to cut the actual freaking comic book. Now, was I? Marvel Comics makes classic lives. Like, how good must these be? War of the Worlds, Ivanhoe, I mean, whatever. The Last of the Mohicans, and Treasure Island. Hell yeah. I bet these have, like, killer freaking art in them, too. Crazy. You gotta love, like, a laughing Dr. Doom or, like, Doom in some sort of wacky situation. He's very Skeletor in that way. I mean, minus the insane, like, hyena cackle and all that, but in the killer, honcho body. But weird babushka and skull head. I mean, who came up with that crap? I love He-Man. I mean, you know what? I feel like they definitely, Jerry Conway was, like, trying to make her as viable as a, you know, a male superhero. And I think that, you know, sometimes that does work. I don't know, like, I guess we better look at issue 2 now. I don't know that, like, I was completely blown away by it, to be honest with you. I feel like it might have been a little boring. Like, had I discovered it, like, first time around, I think it would have been more exciting. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but is this... I wonder who... It's so funny because you never know who was, like, doing the art. Feels like something... I don't think he would have, but, like, Dick Giordano-ish or slightly Neil Adams-ish. Am I hallucinating? There's no way. Okay, anyway, we'll never know unless you Google it and leave a comment, which you should if you feel like it. Mission Control Center. Oh my god, how cool is that? I love the $6 Million Man and his playset. Like, that is so funny. He comes with a car engine. I had, like, totally the fake arms. I can almost smell the rubber. It must have been so toxic. Anyway, getting my little toddler ass high. Anyway, Jerry Conway, writer, editor. John Buscema and Joe Sinnott, artists, storytellers. Joe Rosen, letterer. I wonder if they were working in the Marvel style at this time. Did her boots look a little different? No, I guess they were the same. But anyway, I do love this incarnation of her costume. It is totally fun. I mean, the audacity. I love it, though. I mean, it was the frickin' 70s. Like, you know, things were weird and all over the place. I mean, look how extreme it got in the 90s. Like, super heroines were practically in the buff. And it was completely acceptable. I mean, it's, like, completely horrifying now. It is. It just really is. Kirby dots. The art is really pretty here. I love this freaking scorpion, sliving for the scorpion, and the AIM characters. And just the beauty. Like, I do love Joe Sinnott's. He has a very juicy, thick, classic line. And I mean, look at, nobody gets a freaking sharper point with a brush than Joe Sinnott. So there. Take that, digital inking. So much fun. I just love classic, like, comic books from this time. Like, there's so much storytelling, and just, like, every page has 6 panels, you know what I mean? Now it takes, like, 3 minutes to read a comic book, and, like, oh my god, finally. You know, it's, like, it's so funny, because we're so into instant gratification and stuff, and it's, like, back in the day, you had to go, like, it was a long way to a punchline. Like, if you watch, like, Wonder Woman or The Incredible Hulk, it is so boring because they are in their costume for, like, 5 minutes each episode. And you had to build up for it. And, like, just when you couldn't take it anymore, they gave it to you. And now it's just like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Here I am. Spider-Ham. I don't know why I felt the need to rhyme there, but... there, I did it. Like, that is very nice. Did it say, Joe Sinnott and Friends? Oh no, I think that was, like, the first issue, but... or maybe it was another episode entirely. Anyway, like, how fun are these classic first issues? That's really cool, beautiful John Buscema art. See, once again, I love when they put the... My brother totally had this gun. I think we did. Did we each have one, or did he just have one? Brother, if you're watching. Very super cool. I remember these little rockets. Oh my god, so much fun. Like, innovative for days. And it was like totally a GUN. Super cool, pretty art there. I want to say this could possibly be Marie Severin art. Yeah, it has to be. Could be totally Joe Severin, but... Or not Joe, John Severin, but I'm going to go with Marie. Super fun. Oh my god, I love comics from this era. Marvel doing its thing for women's lib. Ms. Marvel. First incarnation. Like, if you're a big fan of the current TV show, you probably won't want anything to do with this book. But thanks for watching anyway. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, share my content, and I'll bring you more later.